Are we live?
Yeah, we're live now.
Okay, awesome. So how have you been besides all the drama that's happened lately?
Well, I mean, it's been very, 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 very busy with, with my studies. But let me just kind of like tell you the things that have been happening recently, just to get everybody up to speed that's
Right.
listening here. But I interviewed Mikovits um, on last Thursday and published that.
Okay.
And it was a great interview. It was for 3 hours, actually. It was the longest one that she did. It was uninterrupted, so there was a
Oh,
lot.
right. I saw this one. This was a good interview. I liked it. I didn't even know how you could get a hold of her. That was
It
amazing.
took 4 weeks, actually.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. So just to inform the people who are watching live here, this is all live with brother. This is the first
Hello.
live brother episode.
What's up, everybody?
So we'll get a few hundred in right now. There's 40 in right now, but they'll start falling in because it takes a little while to get the announcement. 44's in. All right. So we'll start with just the intro. What happened? So so I start promoting my interview with Mikovits on Tuesday and Wednesday. I was premiering on Wednesday a video. I don't remember which video I was premiering. And I was told by some of the mods that people were having problems doing Super Chat. Then I looked behind the scenes and found out I was demonetized on Wednesday. I think I was demonetized on Wednesday because of my my pending interview with Mikovits. YouTube in the background stated that my content was considered harmful content in terms of like what I've been saying. That was the reason. That I can appeal by June. I can appeal. I think June 12th. I think it is. So I have to wait. So that's what happened on Wednesday. Then I did kind of a upset video, doing my normal rant, and that received thousands of views. And that rant was basically stating what happened to me and how I thought that what I had to say was extremely important in terms of our civil liberties and informing the public about what was going on with the virus, and the powers that be like Fauci and Birx and the CCP and everything that happened.
Right.
And that's all about since January 25th. And the market and some of the other things that we talked about.
Preparation.
Yeah.
Right.
So so I stated things that were dear to my heart, and then I read a document that was shared to me by a subscriber that stated possible things that they might be doing in California if someone did not get tested, if they were getting state aid, because of unemployment. So I read that document. It wasn't verified. I didn't know if it was true or not, but it was from HHS. And it stated basically if you didn't get tested, you would lose your benefits, and if you did get tested and you showed to be positive for COVID-19 disease, that they could remove the kids from the home and put them in foster care. Later, I find out that might have been a fake letter. All right. But I didn't verify it. I haven't I don't know if it's true or not. But the bottom line is it doesn't matter because HH 6666 was at that time being discussed in Congress, And it had elements of something very similar where it could be doing forced testing.
Right.
So it goes back to the Biopatriot Act and the elements that I've been complaining about from day one, and that we have to protect our civil liberties. Well, I stated that these types of things are unacceptable and that people should start to weaponize and protect their civil liberties. And received a, um, I received a, and I said it with a lot of boastfulness, a lot of fervor. I said it with a loud voice. I was angry. It was inflammatory. So I received a letter from, from the powers that be at my school that
Right.
stated that, this needs to be discussed, and, that, you know, this kind of, this kind of behavior is not professional for a medical doctor and for the school, and therefore, I need to, recalibrate the way I articulate my discussions. So going forward, I have to be more professional about how I articulate the argument. And but I think honestly, I think I was demonetized because I interviewed Mikovits, and I think I was targeted because of some of the important things that I have to say about this crisis, especially when it comes to our civil liberties. And
I think you've been the most useful since the start, 100%.
well, I've been trying, but it's not just me. It's been a group of people that have helped. It's not just me. I mean, it's the army of 45,000 strong here.
You've inspired the army. Let's go with that.
Well, I have my reasons, and I've explained them, very forcefully, and so I'm gonna be more professional about this, but I'm going to, I need to walk a fine line because there is a code of ethics, there's a code of conduct for medical students and medical professionals that they have to follow, or they get into trouble. And that line I have to walk, but I'll walk it all the way up to the very line. Now, what I'm hoping is that medical professionals that do listen to this channel, nurses and doctors, understand where I'm at. And that, for me to continue my medical education and become a surgeon, I, have to watch what I say, but I'm still going to protect. I'm still going to voice my opinion about this particular crisis situation from a scientific perspective, from the financial perspective, from the civil liberties perspective, from the geopolitical perspective, because of my particular educational background gives it a much larger, broad view than most can provide. Yeah, I'm not the only one, but very few people can give the broad perspective that I can provide. So that's why I'm going to continue doing it. But I have to walk a fine line. And a lot of, some people prefer me to be flamboyant and, just, have that conversation that most people are saying at home instead of, trying to play patty cake, with my verbiage. But, I would much prefer, to speak like how everybody else is speaking. But I have to walk a fine line because I've been warned. And for me to become a surgeon, and the reason why I want to be a heart surgeon is because of what happened to my brother. He died from heart disease. And that is threatened. For me to be a heart surgeon is threatened if I continue the way I was. But I'm going to continue to voice my opinion about very important subjects like how a lot of vaccines are not manufactured safely. And that is a huge problem that needs to be addressed.
Yeah.
So I need people's support. I've been demonetized. I was demonetized on Wednesday. last Wednesday, and I am continuing to try to to do this coverage. I have a Patreon account that people can go to, and I have my website that people can donate to, either through Stripe or through PayPal. And I have the store that provides nutraceuticals that helps with with boosting up your health. Your so I have the nano silver products. I have vitamin C and vitamin D. I have different types of vitamins on the store, and then I also have C60. Now, I
Right.
used to wear glasses since I was 18 years old. All right. And once I started taking C60, I stopped needing glasses.
What?
Yeah, no kidding.
That is
Yeah,
crazy.
and it's been over 6 months now since I haven't needed glasses. I'm farsighted with stigmatism, and my eyesight's getting better, and I attribute it to the stacking of NMN and C60.
What's M&M?
NMN is
NMM.
nucleotide mono. What is it? Nucleotide mono something something. It's a product that was designed actually by a Harvard professor, MIT
Wow.
postdoc, and he's a Harvard professor now. NMN. It's
Small world.
nicotinamide mononucleotide is what
Okay.
that compound is. So, but so what it does is it gives it gives better mitochondrial health. Sirtuins are upregulated, and the C60 is a very strong antioxidant. I think that combination is what has helped which is helped my eyesight. Now that's
Right.
my personal experience. So I'm trying to help people in a lot of different ways, and people can help me in a lot
True.
of different ways. And I
And they
also
do need to.
okay. So with that said, that's the story. That's the backdrop. I'm gonna try to play nice. A lot of people don't want me to play nice because that was part of my internet persona.
Paul Cottrell. Yeah.
All right, but and there's a lot of people that are trying to discredit me, and it's okay.
Let 'em.
Let them.
Let 'em. It's part of the game.
It's part of the game. But since you're the behavioral guy, and
Right.
tell me what's going on. With what you're seeing, and this is the first live show. Usually we record it and then premiere it, but this is the first live show, and we have now 151 people watching. And we'll take questions through the chat later. But how you
Yeah.
doing? Sorry
I'm
for the
doing all
long
right.
intro.
No
but-
worries, no worries at all. I love it. I'm doing well. I'm doing well. The slight events. I want to say I'm surprised, but really I'm not. It's following the same. How do you say it? It's following the same event cycle that happened in January, February, and March, where we would see an increase of attention on the virus, and then it would stop for about 3 days, and then it would pick up, and then it grew, where people would talk about it for a week, and then for a week it would stop. Remember when we were having like a tough time getting information, things were getting more censored. Now we're at a place where the virus was on for about a month, and now it's going to be off for a month until the events pick up again. The events, I've realized, are not going to go away, and it's not because somebody is in charge. Let's say that this virus came out accidentally out of wherever it came of. This virus, they've proven it now, is man-made or, somehow man-made, not necessarily man-made, but still man had something to do with this virus's creation. That in itself has the release of this virus that I believe it wasn't supposed to be released. I've came to a conclusion that I believe that they were trying to suppress the fact that this got released early, and they were trying to block it, and they were trying to wait until a more appropriate time. And this is all my opinion. I think they were going to wait until Trump's, around the time where Trump was going to start getting people to notice him right before the election, going out, making some noise. So this was planned for that. And because of people like us, I would say, much higher broadcasting stations like Alex Jones, Peak Prosperity, people like this, people like us, we all spread the noise so wildly and so loud in the short period of time around February that once they say, what is that, the genie comes out of the bottle, you can't put it back in, that's what happened. And everyone was aware of it. Now, the real trajectory of where this is going has nothing to do with what's happening right now, which I've realized. There is not going to be like 1 wave, 2 wave, 3 wave, 4 wave. We just had the initial beginning of this virus. What's going to happen in fall is going to be the actual events of what this virus is going to cause because of the lowered immunity, the lowered immune system, and a bunch of other things we're going to cover today. But pretty much, I believe that this wasn't put out on purpose. I think Fauci was one of the people that was involved in the creation of this, involved in signing the documents. I think this guy is just a puppet, he's just like Obama. All these politicians, majority of them are puppets. They take information from person A and give it to person B. And just because they have a PhD, they're allowed to do that. And it makes sense. And nobody questions them because they have those 3 letters next to their name. So these guys, none of these guys are the brains. The brains behind this are the business people that are pushing for this change. Now, this change that's happening right now, it would have, I think we mentioned this on our 2nd or 3rd video, it would have happened either way, whether it was with this virus or not, because where the energy in the universe was going was towards chaos, and it was so obvious to everybody. Every human that's living on this planet knew that there was something happening for the past number of years, and it was getting hotter and warmer, and I'm not talking about the weather, I'm talking about this feeling. And this year, it, I think, accelerated that change. Now, we have 2 options moving forward, which is to let this event die down and the politicians and the business get their reward, or continue the fight and take the chaos to the ultimate level that it can, so that destruction happens and the reset happens. Because honestly, I'm kind of, this is like big stuff that we're talking about. A lot of people won't understand this kind of talks, but we were headed for a change in our behavior, whether we liked it or not, because what was happening was people were losing trust in each other. Compulsion was becoming more of a norm. What was that word? I forgot the word for it, but people were becoming more compulsive and less loving, less trusting, less energetic, and more 3-dimensional. They were focused more on the right now. What can I do right now? Compromising their health and security and finances for the future, for the now. So this chaos would have happened either way, whether it was with the financial bubble or another pandemic or, somebody going rogue, a terrorist attack, whatever it would have been, this event would have continued on, because it's like everything around the world was going higher levels of chaos. And there's only so much you can go into chaos until the thing erupts and a new order comes into play. Now, a lot of people hearing this, they're going to freak out and say, we don't want a new order. We don't want a new order. Now, I understand from a lot of people's perspective, this event has made its mark in your life. It's made a mark in my life. It's made a mark in everybody's life. It has changed us in some way or another. That change right now seems like a bad change, but everything that this virus has brought with it is good. Let's look at the facts. Let's look at the evidence. People didn't know what was going on in China before this. Now, 99% of the world knows what's happening in China. Even if they don't want to hear it, they're still going to hear it because it's everywhere. That's 1. 2, there was a lot of fake news and fake everything, like fake people, fake products, fake money, fake people, honestly, fake emotions, fake love, fake marriage, fake kids. Like, people would have kids and not even realize how to take care of their kids. Everything was going into a 3-dimensional point of view. What this event has done is it's shooken the consciousness. It has caused everybody to be traumatized. And when you're traumatized, you're forced to change. You're forced to view life in a new way, a new perception. I understand, like I said, a lot of people are going to go against this and say, no, I don't want to do that. I don't want to go through change, but change is inevitable. Whether you like it or not, it's going to happen. You cannot hold the globe in like a time stop, freeze, like situation. You can't do that. This time is an illusion. We're going through a transformation of evolution. Now, a lot of people, it's going to be hard for them to believe because of how strongly they've been inflicted by religion, and I respect that. I believe in God. I'm a son of God. I totally understand what you guys are saying. But you guys need to understand that right now this is needed. Whatever this change is bringing, it is needed. For example, a lot of companies that were doing a lot of fraud are getting busted right now. A lot of political crackdowns are happening in huge organizations. I can't speak on a lot of them because there's a lot of lawyer cases going on, but what I can say is, guys, what you don't see, trust me, look at the numbers. The numbers going red, there's stuff happening in the back. There's people getting fired. There's companies getting transferred. Like we said in I think it was our first video. And funny enough, a little segue, I looked back at our first video a couple days ago, and it really made me smile because we knew exactly what was going on since the beginning. Sorry, not what's going on, but what's going to happen. We knew exactly. We played it out in our first video, exactly the map of where this event was going to go. Now, this change, guys, that's happening, I just want to, before we get into all the other stuff I want to talk about, I just want to quickly talk about this. There was a lot of behavioral stuff that a lot of us were doing that we weren't proud of. We weren't being good to our parents. We weren't being good to our spouses. We didn't even like our spouses. We didn't even know why we were with them. Now, this alone time, this sudden, not just alone time, but this sudden massive change that's happening, and I wouldn't call it negative or positive. It's a change. What you do with it is your responsibility. There is immense, enormous, like, you will never get these opportunities in your life ever again the way you have them right now. All the doors to get money is open right now, guys. And in your industry, whether it's construction, food, transportation, services, sales, whatever you're doing, the opportunity right now is so huge that it's just ridiculous to view yourself in a negative light right now. If you're viewing yourself in a negative light, you need to take responsibility that you're being lazy. Because you're noticing the doors, but what's stopping you is your fear, and then you justify it by saying, well, nobody else is doing it. Nobody else made a plane before, so, the Wright brothers, why would they do it? They did it anyway. And what happened? They made $1 trillion industry, right? It's the same thing right now, guys. The opportunities are there, but you just have to go and get them. Now, for example, one of the opportunities that you can look at, not just finances, is your relationship with your loved ones. Being indoors, a lot of you right now are complaining. Either you guys are getting really stimulated and you want to go out, go meet a Tinder date, whatever, or you're just getting fed up with seeing the same people in your house. What you need to practice is patience. You need to focus right now your energy on yourself and your family, because you're not going anywhere anytime soon, and they aren't either. This lockdown will get locked down once again. And mark this interview, guys, that's happening right now, May 22nd, 2020. We're talking about it first on Dr. Paul Cottrell. They're going to open up, and then they're going to close again. And the close for the second time is going to be much more stringent, much more strict, much more, they're going to be way more into presenting what's going on, and more media coverage and more policing. And it's coming without a stop, and it's guaranteed. So what I'm trying to say is, I'm not going to put fear into you guys. What I'm saying is, harness it. Harness this change that's coming. Don't fight it, accept it. Because the faster, honestly, I would say 15% of people have accepted this change. Most people are still in denial. That's why I'm saying the opportunities are so endless. There is just free money being given away. If you can solve someone's problem right now, they'll give you money. And whatever industry you're in, whether it's food, technology, like I said, it's every industry. So don't think that I have some secret organization that's making all the money. Trust me, guys, it is every single industry. And once you start, go 2 weeks into it, actually invest some time and some money into your ideas, and see what happens. See the results, and they'll speak for itself.
Well, let me bring that. Let me just interject a bit.
Right, please.
About 2 or 3 videos ago, we were talking about leveraging the internet to a new paradigm, so people could start building businesses and leveraging the internet to make money, because the way things used to be pre-Wuhan is not. We're not going back to those days. We're going to a post-Wuhan era.
Right.
So, I created an online store, in dovetailing to the ideas that you were saying, and I know people that have recently have started selling stuff on their websites, taking your advice. So,
Yep.
so people that are watching this channel, they're thinking, oh, you know what? This is just, Dr. Paul Cottrell is just a shill. No,
I
Dr.
feel
Paul
so
Cottrell,
bad for them.
but the thing is Dr. Paul Cottrell is actually seeing that we're living in a post Wuhan era,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
we can't start think. We have to look and see how are we going to leverage the situation to be
Exactly.
able to provide for our families. And,
Exactly.
it's a totally different paradigm now, and people think that the
Right.
paradigm is no longer, that we're going back to the old paradigm, pre-Wuhan paradigm. That's not the case. So I'm not a shill, you know.
Right.
And these people that are thinking that I am, there's people out there that are saying, oh, I'm just trying to try to make a profit from this crisis.
Doing it for the views.
I'm not doing it for the views. If anything, I'm trying to help people.
Honestly, it
I
is.
just,
It's a passion. It's
but
a
people
love.
should
It's a
take your
lifestyle.
advice. The point is the people should
Yeah.
take your advice and say, hey, try to leverage the internet and see what your skill sets are. So it might be code, it might be marketing, it might be consulting, it may be selling products or whatever. But leverage this because we're going into a new paradigm.
I want to make this very clear for everyone that's listening. We, guys, honestly, the 232 of you right now, come over here, come huddle up, listen to this. Take advantage because all the people right now are going to notice your wins in the market. And once the market starts rising back up, it'll be too late for them. Those doors that I'm telling you guys about right now, they'll be open for another... I'll be honest with you guys. It'll be open for another year, okay? It's going to be hot. Whatever the hell you're good at, do it online. Whatever it is going to remain hot. We are not going back to the old way of living ever again. What's going to come out of this is much bigger than humans. It's an energy shift in the universe. And we'll get to that. Oh, man, this is gonna make people's what is those things, hair on the spine go up type of thing, because the things we're gonna talk about in a sec is it's nuts. But guys, the energy change is real, and the faster you accept it and you stop denying it, the faster you'll be able to make the advantages. And you're not taking advantage of anybody. You are a human. The moment you're born, your job is to survive and provide and reproduce. Everything else they've taught you is BS. It's all BS. As a human, that's what you're supposed to do. And when you do that, you get rewarded. When you feed yourself, when you take good care of yourself, you feel good. When you take care of your mom and dad, you feel good. When you date someone and you make love to them, you feel good. This is what humanity is about. Now, we drifted off of that, and a lot of people right now, like I was saying, only 15% of people, even less, it's ridiculous. I would say like 4% of people are actually taking advantage of what's going on right now. And I really, the reason why I've said this probably on like the last 5 episodes now of people go on the internet and do your thing, whatever it is, whether it's finance, selling products, whatever it is, do it. And it's because there's just an endless amount of money. And I can't get all the money. Dr. Paul isn't going to get all the money. Like, there's everybody that's online right now doesn't have enough time to just touch all this money that's being floated around in the universe right now. And like I said in the first video, it's a transfer of wealth, guys. So the only reason why a lot of people are making a ton of money online right now is because a lot of big companies are losing money, and that transfer of wealth, that money, because money is fake. It's being transferred from people. It's like an object, right? That object is being transferred to you guys to keep the cycle moving. Whether it's with your government stuff they're giving you, I don't know, like $2,000, $1,000, $5,000, whatever they're giving you guys. These funds are to keep the cycle going. What you want to do is not spend those funds on bullshit. Take them, start your business, develop your business, get some more loans, keep pushing the business. It's going to take you about 2 weeks, I would say, to get the ball moving. But once the ball moves, you can thank Dr. Paul. Just thank the channel, thank what he's done for you guys, because if it wasn't for him, none of this would have been possible. And I promise you, what the results will be like for you, it's going to completely change your perspective on money, your perspective on this virus, your whole mood. You're going to be able to motivate the people around you and help them see the opportunities too. But like Dr. Paul said, a lot of people are going to be in denial. A lot of people are still going to say, oh, this is BS. They're just talking about money. It's not real. Let them. Like, honestly, let people be in denial. That's less competition for you. At the end of the day, you can only do what you can do. You can present information, but if people aren't going to listen to you, it's useless to try and, smack them upside the head with the same information over and over again. It's going to lose value. So just do it for yourself and do it for the ones that are going to listen. Now, in regards to a couple things, some of the people I talked to wanted me to bring this up. The massive lotus swarms that's happening, I personally have no idea what that is. I believe that and the alien thing that they've been releasing, the alien footage, these are all distractions. And it's pretty obvious why. They messed up pretty bad. They created something, they put it out into the world, and now everyone's getting sick and, complaining and all this. So I don't blame them for all these little distractions. So I think this whole Lotus thing is a distraction. I think it's real. I don't think it's fake. And I think it's going to be a big problem in the coming months, because they're going to multiply about 1,000-fold. Probably by the end of the year.
Backtrack a little bit, because I've been, studying physiology and
right.
and all this stuff lately.
Right.
What alien footage are you talking about?
So what the government has done right now is they noticed that too many people, not just your channel, everybody was starting to do videos on the topic of the virus and the financial stuff and just everything in general, and it was bringing too much attention onto the stimuli. And what they needed to do is bring up more stimuli that people have emotional connections to. So their reticular activation system, their attention, will go towards something else and keep looping onto that new thing. And they know a lot of people are into existence of life other than humanity and humans. So what did they do? They released the footage that they already pre-released 3 years ago. They released the same clip and 3 different alternative clips of it, different angles or something of this alien spaceship flying.
Oh, okay.
I'll save you guys.
I know what it is. This is that Tom DeLonge stuff.
I have no idea. It's just I don't know. Some rock star released it 3 years ago.
Yeah. It's Tom DeLonge. I know about this. Okay.
Yeah. So
I didn't realize they re-released it recently.
Yeah, they re-released this all over the news, everywhere. People are talking about aliens again. Again, this is all this distraction from what the real alien is, which is the virus.
Well, that's Fauci. Fauci's the real alien.
Honestly, this little guy, he's a little cutie. So, the second wave, there's a lot of hidden data on this. And the reason why I believe there's a lot of hidden data, like the test kits don't work, there's not enough test kits, this is all BS, guys. Think about it logically. With the amount of money, power, and manufacturing ability these big guys got, and they could get their hands on, even if the government doesn't have the money, they could get big guys that have the money. Trust me, there is no shortage of money on this globe. They're literally barfing out money as we speak right now. There's probably $1 billion right there. There's another $1 billion right there. It's that's how fast the money's being pushed out. So there's no shortage of money. And I believe that they are purposefully not testing for a reason. And I believe, which comes back to my theory, is that this event was supposed to happen in the fall. But because of people like Peak, and by the way, I got some background information on Peak Prosperity that I want some people to look into, because I don't know what to do with this information, and I had some of my people find this out, and he's going to hate you for this, Paul. But he used to work for Big Pharma. He used to be one of their executives, top executives, and he used to be one of their psychologists and one of their financing people. He had a ton of connections with a lot of companies that deal with pharmaceuticals, pharma stuff, and he also has a PhD in neuroscience, and he also he understands behavioral sciences, the stuff that I'm into. And he's never talked about that on his channel. He's only talked about his pathology PhD.
This is my understanding of his background, and I think I read this a long time ago, so I could be a little bit off on the facts here, but my understanding is that he has a PhD, and I thought it was something like something in toxicology. And then he ended up getting a MBA and he focused kind of like market analysis, and that his company was, more kind of like a financial consultant type, and market analysis kind of guy. That's where he was coming from, even though he did have a PhD in the hard sciences. So, and I believe he came from Duke University. I don't know if his PhD was from Duke University. I think it was an MBA, but I maybe both. I'm not sure. But I was not aware that he worked for a pharmaceutical company. But it makes sense. I mean, that would be tied into his background.
He was making a lot of money based off the people, and I trust these guys. These guys are. I can't mention how much they make, but they make as much as your favorite celebrities, if not 10 times more, guys. And they wouldn't lie to me. I'm partners with them. So they've told me this guy has made a ton of money in the pharmaceutical industry. He never worked for them. I think that he was one of their advisors and executives, and maybe maybe he did a little bit of psychology in there too. I'm not going to speak too much about it, but he did make a crap load of money. This guy was a multi-millionaire. So I would love if people in the audience could look into that and find some more information about that.
What I did find odd with Peak was that it was very hard to get a hold of him, and that to get a hold of him, you had to actually pay money.
Yeah.
Which was surprising to me, since this was such an important topic to discuss. You would think it would be easier to get a hold of him, especially for interviews or for him to interview other people on his channel. But he has kind of like a firewall to get a hold of, and I found that to be a bit odd. When you look at Dr. Campbell, he was much easier to get a hold of. He doesn't have a firewall. So, and I personally think that the three biggest channels about this topic are Campbell's channel, Peak Prosperities, and this channel.
Right. And Peak is off the grid, so there's no finding this guy. He is not in towns or anything. He's out of town. And I don't blame him for the things that he talks about and does. There's a lot of people that probably hate him. So I don't blame that, but it was pretty crazy to hear that. I was kind of shook when I heard that he used to work for Big Pharma and stuff. I was like, what? Like, what? Like every day you find out some news about these events, and you're just like, what? It doesn't stop. It never will stop. So first wave, guys, we're out of the schedule. And now the second wave is when the real data is going to come out.
I have a disclaimer.
Right.
I've never worked for Big Pharma.
I think that's why I like you so much. You're so genuine, man. It's all love. It's all love with you, man. It's straight attacking. It's all from the heart. You got to make your money. You're putting a lot of time into it. Fair enough. If people don't understand that, that's on them. But they will once they get their bills for their house and their car. They'll understand. But you're doing it from the heart. You're doing this all with love and passion, and you're actually trying to help people understand what laws are going to be taken from them, and it will be taken from you guys without a doubt. They will take your rights. If you do not, disclaimer, if you do not make noise, and I don't condone making any noise because Paul's channel is very delicate right now, so I don't condone you guys go out and make noise. But if no noise is made, everything that Paul warned you guys about in back in February, everything will happen one by one. Everything he said. So go back and watch those videos because you're going to start seeing them roll out. So first wave was ahead of schedule. That's why I believe that you guys didn't see anything. And if you saw a little bit of numbers, they had to just show you a little bit. They're gonna exaggerate the numbers like heavily in the fall, and some of it is gonna be real. A lot of people will get sick, but we will get to that. I found not a cure for this virus, but a way to deal with this virus. The vaccine, I'm not going to spend too much time talking about the vaccine. You guys probably heard it all week, all month, all year. So we're not going to talk too much about that. You guys already know what's up. It is what it is.
Well, wait, there's a couple things that were odd in the news that I thought were odd.
Yeah.
We heard in the news, and the market rallied on it, positive results from Moderna. This is the messenger RNA platform. But also in the news, I think it was either today or yesterday, that AstraZeneca is developing a vaccine. Now, I was surprised about that. I mean, AstraZeneca is a British company. I was just surprised that they were able to get a contract with the U.S. government. So there seems to be a battle between Moderna and AstraZeneca now that I don't think anyone really knew was happening behind the scenes.
I just want to make a quick interruption.
There's a
guy
story
in the
there.
chat.
I think there's a
Sorry.
story between Moderna and AstraZeneca.
So really quickly, I just want to make a little interruption. Can one of the mods kick out hoaxes debunked? This guy works for the CCP, so
Hoaxes?
it'd just be better to not have him here.
Wait, hoaxes?
Hoaxes debunked.
Okay, here we go. Bye-bye. Here we go.
He's gonna freak out.
Bye-bye.
I know that.
He's gone now.
Oh, he's
Bam.
probably freaking out. He's like, how'd they know?
Bye-bye.
Too easy. Too easy. So, yeah, you were talking about the company.
Yeah, so I just from a financial perspective, financial news perspective, I didn't know that there was this kind of battle between AstraZeneca and Moderna about vaccines, and that AstraZeneca was a little bit ahead of the game. And they were able to procure some sort of contract with the U.S. government.
Honestly, at the end of the day, it's none of these guys. They already have ingredients or an ingredient that's going to be added to that, whoever that company is. So it doesn't even matter. This is all distractions. Like the people that are fighting for making the vaccine, guys, it's all distractions. There's already like the companies that they've invested in, the behind people, and these companies have worked on this vaccine since October, November, and they're just seeing which one can do it perfectly, and then they're going to transfer the main ingredients to that vaccine, and nobody's going to know about these ingredients unless, like I said, if more people make noise that work in the industries and they reveal what's actually happening inside their industries, there will be more expose, and it'll slow the process down, and it'll leave more rooms for the bigger guys to attack, like Trump and all the other people involved in the politics. The hydroxy, oh God, I want to quickly mention this. Anybody that's saying remdesivir is going to help with this, I want you to go back to our video in February. I think it was our second video where we mentioned that China patented remdesivir literally 24 hours right after they did, and still nobody knows about this. The people that listen to your channel are the only ones that know about this. And if you guys do your research, you'll find out. I told you guys they're going to take, also Paul said this too, that they're going to take remdesivir and they're going to push that on you guys. And same with the vaccine, because all these things cost money. And where's the money going to come out of? Taxpayers, all of you guys. So at the end of the day, they wanted to do remdesivir, but then because of channels like yours and others that were using actual facts of hydroxychloroquine, it got pushed like heavily, and people understood that this is the only thing that will stop this virus. And I will give you guys the breakdown now, just from my personal perspective, and I don't know, 10,000 people I've talked to that have known or have had the virus, let's say. The only thing that has helped them, watch us get cut off, the only thing that's helped them is zinc and vitamin C and stress response control. And more than anything, it has been, and also the vitamin D3. But more than anything, you guys can also use iodine, silver, all that other good stuff too. But one thing I just want to mention about those, they will protect you if you feel the onset coming and it's too late to start the hydroxy or the zinc or whatever. You could still do those, But once the symptoms start, here's what you need to do: iodine or the silver or both. And you guys can look into your own details for how much dosing and all that, and your body size and your weight and all that. But I'm just going to tell you guys the ingredients that I'm seeing on the field, on the battlefield, literally, that's working. And the main one is stress control. What they want is the same reoccurrence like we mentioned in our second video about this being another 9/11. That's what's happening. They want the stress response to go high, the hospitals in the next 6 months to get filled up, and then the virus making its comeback, and a whole ton of confusion of what's actually killing people. Is it the virus? Is it stress? Is it something else? Is it the influx of patients? The surgery is not being done. So giving you guys the breakdown of what's going to come. They tried to push the stress response. They're going to continue pushing it. Right now is the break period. They can't push the same message for too long or people get bored. They're going to take a break now for about, I would say, a month. This is the break period. And then after the break period, the numbers are going to go higher in the background. You guys will see slowly increases in the background. They're going to have to prime you guys so that your behavior will get organized and you'll be more easier to comply. You'll be able to comply better. So what's going to happen is a slow increase in the numbers in these next couple of months, but no major news, just like, oh, we're going back to normal, and then a sudden boom. It's going to be sudden because it's going to be so slow, this increase, that they're going to be like, oh, guys, okay, look, the increase is getting real, and then within like a week, the shutdown will happen again. And this is guaranteed. And I'm not going to say anybody's involved, but it'll be a coincidence if it happens almost right before the election, or a couple weeks or days before the election. It'll be a weird coincidence if that happens. Now, in regards to the minerals and vitamins, you guys need to make sure that your minerals and vitamins are at play and your pH level is high. I don't care about the virus. The virus, let's say it's a level 3 out of 10 or a level 4 out of 10 or a level 6 out of 10. You'll survive. Okay, I found out that the lung will fix itself. The body will fix itself. There is no, I don't believe the damage will be permanent. I do not believe that. I'm starting to see some, like I'm saying, the evidence it's like hour by hour, day by day. It's really strange and it's really weird. But I do not believe that people will be affected permanently from this. You will be able to fight it off, but a lot of people won't. And the ones that are dealing with stress, the ones that are in the victim mentality, that are dealing with parental fights, brother and sister or spouse, or they're just not in a healthy space in their mindset right now, or in the next coming months they're going to continue that mood. It's going to become their personality trait. These people are the ones that are going to get sick. These are the ones that are going to complain. These are the ones that are going to protest for the lockdown to continue. And you will see this. You will see a ton of people saying they want to continue the lockdown once they see the numbers rise and once the stress response has done its job and the virus has gotten a good hold of you and they start getting a good number of people sick. That's when you guys will see this second wave come out of nowhere. Like I said, this event went on earlier than it should have. And I truly believe that. I believe that this event should have happened in the fall, but because of people like us, the noise made it happen earlier. Now, the stress and immune system, I just want to mention a couple more things, guys. Here's 3 really good examples of what happens when you put yourself in stress, and I'm going to talk about it in a personal perspective. I had an argument with a loved one 3 days in a row. On the 4th day, I got so sick. And guys, I don't want to scare you, but whatever the hell is in our environment right now, it's giving me weird headaches and weird symptoms. I feel depressed when this sickness comes. I don't feel lethargic and just I don't want to do anything. I feel what is life? That is a weird ass sickness. That's 1. 2, it's I do not believe it's cough related or sneeze related. It'll depend on the individual. Because the symptoms I'm hearing, including the ones from me, they're all different. And everybody's behaving differently with this virus, which is going to make it very hard for people to study. And nobody's seen anything like this before. So there is no list of symptoms that are guaranteed. If you look at taking a pill, for example, if you look at the little insert cards inside of them, there is 100,000 different symptoms that'll happen to you. They can't tell you, oh, this will happen or that'll happen. They'll be like, okay, you might get some anxiety, some heart pain that 80% of people feel, but that's about it that they can tell you. It's for certain. But the real symptoms that you might feel that are going to be different from everyone, it'll depend on your body, your immune system, the way you take care of yourself and what's going on inside you. So if you get something, whatever this thing is, this synthetic thing in the air, if you get it, my number 1 recommendation is to de-stress. Like I said, you can use the silver and the iodine. If it's getting intense, use that and use it. I'm dead serious. Use it because it works, and it works instantly. It works within like an hour. Within for me, it works within 10 minutes. I don't know why. It works so fast. Like I'm feeling like crap. Like I was saying, I'll get into an argument with a loved one 2 days, 3 days in a row. On the fourth day, I'll feel the symptoms. I'll start getting sick. I'll take the silver. I'll take the iodine. I'll meditate for the day. I'll chill out, and I'm back to normal within 8 hours, 10 hours. It's gone. Whatever that thing that was developing in me, this synthetic thing, it's gone. Just try it. You don't have to listen to me, guys. I could be, talking crap. Just try it. De-stress. The next time you get into an argument or you're stressed out, you're getting sick, whatever, you feel the onset of this sickness, take a day off. That day, just take it off and just fall in love with yourself and fall in love with life. Fall in love with forgiveness and fall in love, most importantly, with evolution. Because when you come eye to eye with evolution, you take the red pill instantly and you understand that what you're arguing about is absolutely meaningless. It is a three-dimensional delusion, and you'll come out of it right away, and you'll be able to harness your energy directly back into source, which is provide, hunt, safety, back to, normal human instincts. So that's huge. And a lot of people have been asking me this question. They want me to answer it. Is the event going to continue? How long will it continue? 2021. So, strap your seatbelts in. It's not going to end, guys. They've been saying it's going to end since February when it didn't even start. So, every week they're saying it's going to end next week.
Well,
next
I've
week
been
it's not going to
saying
end.
that it's, from day one that I thought it was going to be a, 16 to 20 month episode here. And that started in February. So, the countdown starts February for me. And it's, I think this is a 20-month horizon here.
Yeah, I think you're right about when I first asked you, I don't know, it was early February, you said 18 months. I was like, nah, you're tripping out. That's too much, man. But then, dude, now that I'm seeing
waves.
all the evidence.
It happens in waves.
Yeah, now that I'm seeing the evidence, they're going to push this. This is, guys, you need to understand that when a transfer of wealth happens, whether this virus, whatever happens to it, because a huge transfer of wealth happened and is still happening and will continue happening, this event will get capitalized to the absolute max. Because it's already started. It's useless to shut it down now. They will lose money if they do. So they're going to continue the event. They're going to continue the propaganda, the BS, but you will see a lot of the truth. And what I'm really pushing for is an awakening of consciousness, because if that happens, a lot of good things will happen. Yeah, a lot of people will commit suicide. A lot of people are going to not want to, evolute. They're going to want to continue having sexual encounters with random partners every Friday and Saturday, and drinking and vomiting and, doing drugs. A lot of people, they're not going to like this change that's going to force them to evolute. So, they're going to be suicidal, and we're going to have to take that hit as humanity. And if you guys don't have the maturity to understand that, and you're thinking all lives matter, you're in a delusion. You don't understand the cycle of life. The moment I make $2 and you make $1, somebody has to die. And that has been going on for thousands and thousands of years. And for us to try and explain this on a phone call to you guys is kind of meaningless. So for all the people that think that, a couple people dying is bad, you guys don't understand how life works and how the system of economy and the system of trade and the system of countries and development of civilizations work. People have to die. It's the way the cycle works. Now, what they are doing in the background is forcing more deaths. And like I said, you guys can stand up to that. It's not going to make much of a difference, because it's going to happen whether we like it or not. All these things are going to happen. They've been planned for months and years, and lots of money are in it. But the more noise you guys make, the more truth will get revealed. You won't be able to stop the process. You'll make some damage for sure. You will make damage, and you will make hurdles and mountains for them to climb on, the people behind, and it'll slow them down. Some rules might get changed, which will be nice. I believe one of the biggest changes we've caused, people like us, everyone that's listening to us, everyone that's contributed to the awakening of what's going on, is that the forced vaccinations will be partially forced. They won't be forced. So there will be reasonable discussions happening on voluntary taking of the vaccine. And again, like I said, it depends on what you guys do. It's not on Paul, it's not on me, it's not on Alex, it's not on Peak, it's on everybody. If 1,000 of you make noise, that's 1,000 of you making noise, compared to me and Paul, that's 2 of us. And here's the fun fact. every person knows 1,000 people. And those 1,000 people know 1,000 people. If you add 1 to that, it's 1,000,000. You need to understand, guys, your voice seems very small. It seems like it can't do damage. But trust me on this, guys. If you want to stand up, once you see that they're going to force some things on you guys and the change is going to be slow and, you want to demand some things to happen, go and gather a group of people and demand those things that you want to happen and see what happens. See the results. You will be astonished at what you guys get just with a little bit of noise. So yeah, don't doubt your tongue. Your tongue was the greatest gift given to you guys. Chaos and order. I think there was something else I wanted to talk about, but I think I forgot. So until it gets back to me, chaos and order, this new way of life. Human behavior, like we just mentioned a couple minutes ago, has to change, guys. And a lot of people are on board with this unconsciously or subconsciously. You guys know what I'm saying is right. You're looking at your mom, you're looking at your dad, you're looking at your friends. Everyone's becoming materialistic. They're losing sense of trust and loyalty and humility and even sense of reality. And that was the biggest, I think, awakening that people realize right now in their consciousness, was realizing how much fake everything they were listening to and contributing to in their life. And that's one of the biggest reasons why a lot of people are depressed right now. They really thought they had their life together, but they lied to themselves. Instead of telling themselves the truth that they didn't have any idea what they were doing with their money or their lives or their projections for their business or for their livelihoods, they're now seeing their true colors. Everybody's seeing everybody's true colors. And if you haven't seen it, if people around you are still trying to hold a front, like I said, this event is going to continue for a long, long time. Those fronts will eventually break, and you will see your friends and family for who they really are. So, but 2 out of 7 people won't feel much. Nothing will change, but like 5 out of 7 people, they will get hit hard, and the change will be real. But like I said, this change is good. It's just how you guys look at it at the end of the day. We weren't scripted to live in this static life forever, guys. You guys knew change was going to happen, whether we liked it or not. The changes that are going to happen in the near future and in the next year is just going to be accelerated. That's the only difference. And first come, first serve, guys. Like I said, whatever industry you're in, whatever you're doing, be the first one in there. Be there. Like I've told you guys 2 months ago, get in on that online world. For everybody that's in there right now, you guys are, none of you guys are probably talking about the benefits because you guys know what I'm talking about. You guys are seeing the benefits. But like I said, guys, it's not one industry. So don't go and swarm one industry and think that it's just that industry that's leading the way. It's every industry, guys. So whatever you're good at, go and do whatever you're good at. Don't waste time on things you're not good at. Right now is not the time to learn. Right now is the time to take action. Learn your industry, perfect it, and move forward with what you guys know and what you're good at. And the money will come. Just trust me, it'll come. Self-development. A lot of you are taking the time right now to be lazy, eat more, smoke more. I know I've talked about smoking weed on this channel as a way to calm down, and I'm still standing by it because a lot of people listen to me and they decided to use cannabis as a source to calm down, and it really helped them get a clear grasp on their nervous system because they couldn't think straight. They were jumping all over the place, staying up every night, just looking at the virus and just information nonstop and fake news everywhere. I understand, so that's why I said, you guys, I recommend weed because what weed does is it makes you just not care. It makes you sit down and become kind of dull and numb and dumb in a way. Not necessarily dumb, if you know how to work with it, which is another topic for another day. But for the most part, it helped a lot of people just calm down and view the broad picture of this and see the opportunities and the information, the real information. So take the time, guys, and do the self-development. Calm yourself down and notice all of the lack. Instead of smoking and drinking and eating a lot of unhealthy food right now and just, wasting time, take the time to work on yourself and the way you think about yourself and the way you think about your family. Just notice your thoughts and thought patterns that you have. Because that'll be your first step. Before any of you want to make a multi-million-dollar business in the next year, which is very possible for a lot of people that have the courage and the right skill sets, it is very possible. But for you to be able to do that successfully, because you will get hit and you will get threatened and you will deal with a lot of uncertainty and insecurity during this change, is you're going to have resilience. You're going to have to stand up for yourself and believe in yourself. You're going to get challenged a lot. It's not easy. I'm not telling you guys it's going to be easy and you're going to make an easy 1 million in these next, couple of years or year that's coming. But if you stay focused and the first thing that you do is you fix your soul and you fix your energy, everything else will follow. And that's why I keep pushing. Fix yourself. Fix your relationship with your mom. Fix your relationship with your dad. Fix your relationship with your sisters, brothers, friends, everybody. Because as you're working towards this dream that's happening right now, or this goal, or this change, whatever your cup of tea is right now, there's a lot of BS that's going to come around you, whether it's the government or friends and family, whatever. And you're going to need to come back to a source that is at peace. So first thing you want to do is come into peace with yourself and your family, and with the information regarding this virus, the letter that comes out, or the number that comes after 4 and the letter that comes after K. I don't know. 4K, we'll call it that. That thing, whatever, anything right now, just get into tune with all of the events that are happening. Get in tune with your family and yourself, and then go towards whatever you want to make money doing. And stop. I'm going to take this word. Honestly, I would give big credit for Grant Cardone, because he has inspired me in these past couple of months as this event has been unfolding. And I took a lot of his phrases from his interview with London Real, so I'm going to give him a big shout out. But it is true about the part where you do need to fix your spirit before you move forward. Because if you don't, and you do get hit as you're moving forward, whether the government all of a sudden shuts you down again, let's say, like they shut down your main business and now you come up with something else and they shut you again, you need to be able to adapt. And you do need to have a Darwinian perspective, where you do need to understand that only the strongest will survive right now. Period. There is going to be no sympathy. Absolutely none. If you don't know what to do right now, tough titties. You're not going to be able to do anything. You're going to have to wait and ride this out for a year and a half. I don't know how long they're going to push this event for, but you're going to have to ride it out. So I really recommend that you strap on your weapons, your pen, your pencil and your paper, and because that's the most important weapon you guys can have right now. And just start working on ideas, start working on your innovation and your area, that your expertise. Go in and put it in that time. I know a lot of people that have lost their work, a lot of people in the restaurant industry, a lot of people in the commerce or retail, whatever. Y'all need to understand that the opportunities are limitless. And for you to get stopped at one point is normal in the business world. And if it's your first time getting stopped, congratulations. You are officially in the business world. Because business is not something that you go inside and you just get paid every month. No, that's not how it works. There's problems and there's solutions. And that is the definition of an entrepreneur. It's someone who solves daily problems, offers solutions, and gets paid for those solutions. So, like right now, there's a lot of problems in the construction area. There's going to be a ton of construction happening and a lot of things happening in the real estate area. And I'm not going to talk too much about real estate because I got a lot of people in that don't want me to talk about it. But I'm just going to say that if any of you have interest in real estate, you could 10x your money right now. Big shout out to Grant Cardone. He's so right. You could literally 10x your money right now if you're in the...
I think that it depends on what kind of real estate. It depends on what kind of real estate.
Exactly.
I'm not so sure that commercial real estate is going to be bouncing back anytime soon. Residential, maybe.
Yeah, exactly. You guys need to think about it in this perspective. Will people be able to afford homes or keep affording their homes? No. What are they going to do? They're going to go for something cheaper. What's something cheap and nice? An apartment or a suite. Just like I said, the solutions are there. I can't speak too much about this problem.
Well, you're bringing up some good points, and it needs to be kind of dissected. And of course, whenever I dissect something, it takes 5 hours. But, but just the cliff note of it, there is going to be some sort of social dynamic change in how people buy homes. Now, for me, I came from Michigan to New York, and it was like, 4-bedroom, um, colonial, 2-story colonial home. And then all of a sudden, 1-bedroom apartment in New York. So it's a huge, huge change. But that's going from suburbia to a very, large metropolis like New York City. But I think before Wuhan happened, I think there was a trend actually to not do that. That people were saying, you know what, living in the city was getting too burdensome because of taxes, not enough space, too much noise, crime was too high, and that people were going to go back to suburbia. Now, post Wuhan, it depends on how fast the economy reboots. If the economy reboots quickly, then people will go back to work, and that movement to suburbia, I think, will continue to increase. Now, maybe they won't be buying the 4-bedroom or 5-bedroom home. Maybe it'll just be a 3-bedroom. But I don't think that they're going to be going to the New York or Boston downtown area like everyone was predicting a few years ago. Because the way it was sold, it was like, well, they're selling you a lifestyle. They're selling you all these amenities. And the reality of the situation is it's high taxes, and you don't have much space. There's a lot of noise. And actually, having a backyard is good for your soul, not, a concrete jungle. So
Right.
I think if the economy bounces back quickly, then this move back to suburbia and having that, American dream, 2 cars, in the house kind of thing, the white picket fence,
Yeah.
I think people will pursue. But even if that does happen, I think that the commercial real estate industry is really going to suffer because businesses have realized they don't need as much space. And more businesses are going to be online.
Right.
With the way they figured this particular crisis has changed the trajectory of certain business models.
Right.
So the commercial real estate, especially for malls, I think is forever changed. So
100%.
so it's commercial, real estate and REITs and how people can invest in those kinds of funds. That's going to be a different ballgame, and I think people should watch out, if they're investing with commercial real estate. But residential, I think, will bounce back, but it depends on how fast the economy bounces back. But I'm optimistic overall for the economy that it will bounce back after the second wave. And that's why I keep on
100%.
saying, don't get into the market until after October when we understand the dynamics of the second wave. It's just as an insurance policy. If people listen to me and they got out of the market, just to be safe, just wait until we understand what the second dynamics are. Then, most likely, it'll be safe to start putting your money back into the market. And when people start to go back to work. But we have an awful lot of people that are unemployed right now. And if you're unemployed, you're not contributing to a mutual fund or a 401k. So the only money that's going into the market is either very wealthy individuals uh, or funds that had cash on hand before the crisis. So I don't think it's sustainable until we understand the rebooting of America. And that rebooting takes a while, it'll take a little while before we start to see it in the balance sheet and the income statement of these companies when they release their earnings, and that will be around October, and we have a better understanding of that. So that's why I keep on saying October is a good bellwether point to decide if the market's healing or not, and just to stay out of the market. But in terms of of REITs for commercial real estate, I would stay out of it because I think that there's some fundamental issues with commercial real estate.
There's one thing I can guarantee is there's a guy in the chat. His name is Chris Dunlop. Sorry if I butchered your name, brother. This guy's on point. If Trump gets reelected, the relapse of the economy will be very quick and instant. If somebody else gets reelected, this event will go on for the next 4 or 5 years. And I'm dead serious when I say that, guys. It'll go on for 4 to 5 years, and this is not a joke. I'm not exaggerating it. I've talked to the right people.
Yeah,
and
I think that the Republic. Let's put it this way. I think that the Democratic Party will try to find a way to usher in socialism, and the best way is to destroy capitalism.
Exactly. They won't be able to. It's too strong. You can't destroy America. It's way too strong. And it's not the American people that are strong. It's the people that have the money. There's a lot of good people with money now. There's a lot of strong people with money right now. Like Joe Rogan the other day, he said that he was going to start fighting against this censorship. You know, a lot of people with money, they have a brain and a heart too. They're just like us. And
do you know more details about that? What actually made him go down this road?
So what I know is very little information, and it's his friends and partners were getting censored, and that's what pissed him off. It was the fact that normal, everyday people were becoming censored, and it was over the dumbest things, and he just didn't like the fact that there was less competition for him, because he likes the debates and the disputes, but this was being forced to have a one-sided view, aka China. You know, like a Chinese way of controlling the internet was happening, and it is still happening, guys. If this video stays uploaded, even, you know, like, that's how bad it's going. They're literally taking down everything. So that's what really set this guy off, was Rogan getting his buddies censored over dumb things. They would never hurt him, but he's a threat to a lot of industries, because his voice, if he said one bad thing about YouTube, nobody would go on YouTube ever again. Like, it would slowly start declining to zero. So we're in a delicate time right now. And
so YouTube, for me, YouTube has taken down, I calculated it, YouTube has taken down 1.4% of my videos.
Wow. And that's a lot.
1.47%.
All of the brother videos got taken down. I was so sad.
You know, but the thing is that, you know, I some of the stuff I have to take down, some of it they deleted. But what's going to happen is that I'm, you know, taking down some videos, and then after a little while, after the storm clears, I'll start repopulating everything. But people that are listening, they need to go to the backup channel. My backup channel is Dr. Paul Cottrell. So Dr. Paul Cottrell. This channel is just Paul Cottrell, because when I made this channel, it was before I received my PhD. But my other backup channel is Dr. Paul Cottrell, Dr. Paul Cottrell, and the link is in the description. And I'm at about 7,000. I'm at 7,000 subscribers on the backup channel. This one has just under 45,000 or so, and I'm about 20,000 views away from monetizing the second channel. And the monetization of that channel will help me buy products to create an inventory to sell on the store. I mean, that's what I was using the monetization of this channel, to buy products. And I have basically 4 lines of products. It's nano silver products. I had the two largest manufacturers of nano silver on my channel, which was the ABL line and the Pedersen line, but Pedersen was taken down by the feds.
That's insane.
I know, and not only that, they use his product. They use nano silver products for the military. So but I have C60 Purple Power brand. I'm carrying Boomer products, which is the vitamin products. And then I am in development. I have already bought the products from I think it's Quench Naturel, but basically it's like healthcare products like skincare, toothpaste, nail care products, lip balm, that sort of thing, deodorant, all natural. They're all natural. There's no preservatives or any artificial stuff. It's all natural stuff for you. So that I have to build up the storefront. So I'm very proud to bring all these different products online to provide to people. But what I was doing was I was using the money that people donate, the money that people purchase on the store. I roll all of it, back into new product, and so I can buy more stock to reach more people. That was the whole goal. So when they demonetized this channel, it hurt me and prevented me from actually buying more the C60s, the more nano products, the more vitamin products out there to get onto the store to reach more people to help with their health and hygiene with all natural products. That's the thing. It's natural. It's not, artificial products. It's not synthetic. It's not. These are natural. So, and I'm just trying to help people. But YouTube has their ways of doing things. And hopefully people will go to the channel. I need people to go to the channel and subscribe to the backup channel and watch the videos so I can get to be monetized. I'm only just under 20,000 views away from monetization.
Y'all just go refresh that page right now.
Yeah.
Go open up videos, refresh the page.
Yeah. So I need people to help because it's just like it was a big hit. It was a big hit when they demonetized this channel.
And yes, Rainbow, we're on the phone.
Yeah, but I appreciate your help. We filmed quite a bit. And
it feels like a family. I love it.
We've. But what happened to Pedersen was pretty extreme. But he's fighting it. He has published papers on the efficacy of this stuff. So he's fighting it, and they're going to rebrand his company, and then I'll purchase the products again. But it's going to take a while because it has to go through all these legal hoops.
I quickly just want to say somebody in the comments, I read this a couple times, is saying I got no sympathy for people that are dying right now. Again, this is I would say like low-level thinking people have, very low-level consciousness, maybe like barely they're using their brain. What I said was people are going to die inevitably. You cannot stop this process from happening. When the transfer of wealth happens, and this is a big shout out to, let me find this guy's name, let me call him out. FaZe Templar, I think that's his name. Maybe it was the wrong guy. I don't know, there was somebody in the chat. But anyways, pretty much they're saying that a couple of people dying is, you should still have sympathy for it. My friend, if you were the president of the world, I want to see you try and keep everybody alive. You will notice within a day that 10 million people die, that you cannot control it. It's the cycle of this world we've created. It's not perfect, but it's working for the most part. For anyone that says humanity's perfect, they're delusional. They're completely delusional. And this is the truth of it. So big shout out to anyone that says this is a non-sympathetic approach. I'm just being realistic, and I'm saying if you can't do something for somebody way overseas except make noise, then that's all you can do, really. I mean, like, if you donate the money, the government will take it. You donate them supplies, the government will take it. Well, the best thing you could do is provide information. What's happening right now is an information revolution, where people are, and that's why I kept saying I'm so proud of this consciousness evolution, for the people that are actually accepting it and moving forward with it. Like, I have a lot of friends personally that are changing so much. It's crazy, like, for the better from this, and it's just absolutely insane. But it's a very, very few number of them. But the ones that are, it's just wow. I'm so astonished. Like, it took me 2 years to get to a certain level, and they're doing it in like a month. And it's because they're really focusing on themselves and their family and everybody around them, where they're headed, all these kind of things that we're talking about. So this consciousness evolution, I'm big on it, guys. You really, if you don't take advantage of it right now, you're going to have to evolve eventually. And right now, there's just so much time to use, so might as well use it now. Children illnesses regarding COVID-19. For all the parents out there, don't worry. The children's symptoms are coming normally. They are not related to COVID. It's normal. If you don't believe me, just see what happens in the next coming months. It'll be self-explanatory. I have no idea what it is, but it's normal from what I'm seeing. Like, it's normal hospital visits for children. It's normal, like, what they're getting at these hospitals. But what's not normal is the media coverage and the connection to COVID. And what do they say? Correlation does not equal causation. So enough information right there. Somebody in the chat, I wrote this down, said, I think his name was Super Sulj. He mentioned L-theanine and GABA, and I think I mentioned L-theanine before. These two ingredients are absolutely amazing for anyone that is dealing with anxiety. So here's a quick little hack you can do to get productive right now and lower your anxiety at the same time. Drink coffee and take L-theanine. L-theanine by AOR. I don't work for AOR. I don't know who they are. It's a company that makes this stuff, and I've tried it personally. It worked for me. It's good stuff. So L-theanine and caffeine, I just swear I just boosted their stocks by like 2%. But L-theanine, it'll help you lower your anxiety, your jitters, your anxiety, especially if you drink coffee and you still want to be productive. This is great. GABA will also help lower your anxiety right now, guys. GABA, and it'll help you sleep as well. Also, if you guys are having sleep troubles and you don't want to smoke weed or you don't want to go into chemically synthetic-made drugs, L-theanine and GABA, you can both get them herbal and all natural, and they'll help you calm down. They're both I don't know what they are, because they do so many different things, but they help your anxiety lower and they help you calm down. That's their main effect that they do, or the one that I studied in my field. Pathologized society. That was the word I was looking for like an hour ago. So what was happening in our society was we were going down a pathological society full of people making impulsive choices and instant decisions full of high energy. There was no thought being made. It was a lot of instants happening. No more slowdowns. Analyzing, seeing things through. What's the best decision? Especially in a first-person point of view, like speaking about us as individuals. We were turning as individuals into impulsive people where we were just reacting to our environment instead of trying to not necessarily control but dictate your environment, create your story. We were becoming impulsive by letting others and other stimuli around us control us. So that's why I'm saying I'm for this event. As bad as it is, I'm for this event as a society. Because not for the vaccination, not for the cure, not for the virus, not for the 5G, not for the business opportunities, but for the psychological point of view, what I'm seeing firsthand on the ground with lots of people is that this event is causing them to wake up. Like, actually wake up and take their makeup off, take their tight dress off, take their, the guys at the gym taking off their shirts, actually gain some weight, seeing who they really are at the core and trying to make peace and make a connection to that person, that child, that inner soul inside of them, they're actually getting so depressed that it's causing them to fall out of this dream state, this fake reality, this three-dimensional state, and going back to their original self, this higher dimensional being, this fifth dimensional, sixth dimensional being that can connect to other things in this world that we can't see, that's very real. And I've told you guys, look at Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton if you guys want more information on that. But this event is causing that to happen. And it is very important that this event happens, because if it, let's say this event didn't happen and a lot of people didn't get depressed and traumatized and mostly depressed, major depression, if that didn't occur, people would still continue this fake story and this fake life that they've created for themselves. And that leads to a bigger problem down the road when they're 50 and they have kids and they're looking at themselves like, what the hell am I doing with my life? You know, I'm not happy with this woman that I'm married. I'm not happy with these kids. Why did I have kids? Like, for them to, at that point, get to that stage, it's just like, dude, you're going to have to hit such a reset button that you're going to have to become a drug addict to get over the trauma from that. You know, like, you're going to have to drink a ton of alcohol or whatever, you know, the remedy is. Go to the gym for like a couple of years to get over it.
What's interesting is that one of the classes, and so like medical school, they at least the one I'm in, you know, they teach based on systems. It's system. It's not like course. It's system based. So you have a foundation, basic science foundation, and then you go into systems. So the first system is like skeletal muscle. All right. But what's interesting in the foundation is, you know, it starts to talk about suicide and starts to talk about you know, certain behavioral science type stuff. But it was interesting, and you know, coming from a clinician point of view, a physician point of view, and how to try to treat, or how to try to at least do the history, the patient history of people that might have mental illness, especially suicide, and all the you know, the ways to investigate the patient, to try to understand their environment, if they have any social support mechanisms, either at the societal level or at the family unit level. It's pretty fascinating, and how in depth, you know, the probing needs to go when you're dealing with a patient that might have these types of these issues.
Yeah. Depression is a beautiful thing. A lot of people think depression is a bad thing. You know, it's gotten a bad reputation. What depression is your body getting a signal from that source that I'm talking about. And the more you get involved into energy and vibrations, guys, you will understand what I'm talking about. Look into Dr. Stephen Greer as well. Dr. Stephen Greer, more than anybody, I would say Joe Dispenza. Support this guy like you support Dr. Paul. This guy is like a born Jesus again, like Jesus' remake or recoming, whatever. This guy is literally that, I think. If not, he's more. Because he's not just writing a book. He is proactively, day by day, teaching people how to harness this energy. And once you do, you'll understand. You'll fully understand what I'm talking about. Everybody that's listening to this. But depression is a beautiful thing. Now, why depression is a beautiful thing is it gets you to wake up. It makes you realize that what you've been doing is being fake. And what the stuff around you has happened is fake. And it makes you come eye to eye with reality. And then you actually start to question what is reality. And then that's when you transcend. But if you keep pushing off that transcendence of your evolution consciously, you will stay depressed. You will not only stay depressed, you will relapse. You will relapse and relapse and relapse until you come out of that. And the only reason why you're getting depressed is because your genes are giving you a backup. They are pretty much having your back. Your genes have been programmed from your ancestors, I would say, I don't know, like millions of ancestors, to harness this energy and to become close with this and to grow with this energy. And the further away you get from this energy, the more depressed you become. And you won't kill the depression until you come back to source. Now, I'm not saying source is helping everybody around you nonstop and giving your life away to God. No, that is not what I'm saying. If we can take God out of the picture completely, I'll give you guys a quick summary of my personal belief system. I view life not necessarily in a Darwinian perspective where it's, the strongest survive, screw everybody else. It's not necessarily that, but it is that I do need to help myself. I do need to protect the ones around me, and we do need to evolve forward and protect our species. We need to view this perspective, and the more you become in tuned to these kinds of views and visions, you'll understand this greater connection that I'm talking about with this source. It's not hate, and it's not love. It's a love and connection, a source of feeling to something greater than us that you can connect to and you can create from. And you can start affecting things in very weird ways once you get into this stuff. Now, I don't want to get your channel more in trouble than it really is right now, so I'm not going to go too deep into this stuff, but it is real, and it's the realest thing ever. And the farther you drift away from this, and also a lot of people that are connected to religion will still say they're kind of feeling depressed, and
that's one of the social mechanisms for trying to protect people that are suicidal is actually a religious connection.
Yeah, because it gives you a sort of
net and like being goal oriented.
Yeah, it gives you kind of like a net. No, I'm not. Somebody in the comments is saying, so no one is more than Jesus? No one is more than Jesus. Okay, what you guys need to understand is if we're going to be real about this energy that we are connecting to, they've labeled as God. The stories that come with it are a perception of the person or the people or the groups that were there at the time decided to make sense of this reality that way, because you can't go up to someone and say, yo, this guy just brought a bird back to life. They're going to be like, what the hell are you talking about? You couldn't do that back then. So it was very scripture, kind of like a way of presenting information. Right now, evidence is the loudest voice, and physical presentation is very real. And evidodal, like seeing evidence in your life, coincidences that, you keep saying like, oh, I did this thing, and that's such a coincidence that happened. Like, how many times are you going to say that until you realize that you're controlling an energy outside of you? That's the reality of life. And like I said, a lot of people will have to go through this loop of depression until they understand that there is something greater than us. And for all the people that are in religion, I respect that.
I think everybody has gone through some sort of depression in their life. To some degree.
To say that it's not real, exactly. To say that we don't have it is false. Everybody has it. Dr. Paul has gone through it publicly, and we've seen it. I've gone through it publicly with you guys. You guys have seen it. Everybody deals with this. It is a sign from the universe that you need to align yourself again. That is all it is. But people want to play it out, put pills on it, put symptoms on it, make an excuse so people can, behave in that way for a long period of time, so it turns into a personality trait, so then they could go back on and say, oh, that's just who I am. No, it's not. We all know it comes and it goes. It's a feeling. Just like trauma. We get traumatized when our parents die, or a sibling dies, or a friend dies. But, if you don't get over it, you stay in that loop as an excuse for yourself and everybody around you as to why you have to lower your vibration, why you have to complain, why you have to nag, why you have to just be so mean and negative. You're just trying to justify it and go back to something that is so strong in an emotional reaction for people. And you're going to be like, look at that. That's the event that's, made me this way. And you can't say anything about it because this event was so emotional. It's like, man, get over yourself. If the universe was like this, we would have never evoluted past walking on or riding on horses. You know, like we wouldn't even have television right now if people were still complaining about their moms dying. You know what I mean? Like, people need to understand that what they've done is they've capitalized on your fear. They've capitalized on your insecurities. And that's why I'm saying this event is good. The lockdown is good. This change is good because people are awakening themselves. Whether they're losing their home or their car, it is good because what you've done to this point doesn't define you. It's your brain that has helped you get these opportunities, to help you negotiate with the right people, is to help you create these ideas. Your brain is your source of wealth, not your physical things that you're touching. I promise you, if everything got taken away from me right now, tomorrow I would go back into full savage mode and just using my mind, build it back up, make 100, make 1,000, make 10,000, build myself back up. And it's the same cycle. You guys need to understand that wealth is not something that is static. It's something that needs to keep moving. If you hold on to wealth, it will disappear. If you try and save wealth, it will disappear. If you try and innovate with wealth, it will increase and grow. Wealth is made to transfer. It's not made to stay in one area. That's a huge one. I'm just reading a comment. Someone's like, I'm getting depressed. Don't get depressed, guys. This is the truth. This is the truth. I only speak the truth.
Well, what's interesting is that, and I didn't know this until, we had the lecture, but the suicidal rates in the medical profession is huge. Huge. I mean, it's just like it's one of the largest professions.
Suicide?
Yeah.
I think I know why.
Doctors and nurses, they have the highest suicidal rates.
Honestly, Paul, I think the reason is they come to a conclusion later on during their science that the more they keep telling the kids that they're not well and they have ADHD and they're depressed and they're anxious and they might need to be institutionalized, the more the kids continue that path. Monkey see, monkey do. Everybody in this chat, you learned everything you learned by watching. You looked at a girl that wore something, you did that. You looked at a girl that had her hair a certain way, you did that. You looked at a guy, let's say you're a guy, and a guy had a bigger body who was intimidating people, and he started out, getting bullied. You're like, okay, I'm going to follow that script. You did that, you became that, and now you're that. You forgot probably, and now I'm reminding you. But monkey see, monkey do. And what these doctors, most of them have realized, and I'm speaking just from personal experience, and I believe this is real. I believe every doctor actually falls into this, is after a certain time, they see that the nicer they are to their patients, the healthier they're becoming, and the more optimistic they are about their patient's health, the more the patient gets better, and the more they tell their patient that you're not well, you have a problem, you have an issue, the more the person develops that issue, and it gets stronger and stronger and stronger, and it's because they're investing energy into that. And the person, let alone, I don't know, when I first got told I had ADHD and bipolar and depressed and I don't know, schizophrenic, psychotic, they literally went down the entire list with me, guys. So if they say you have something, don't worry, I probably have it too. Everybody has it. Everybody has these things that they're talking about. What I'm trying to say is that do not connect it to yourself, because that you're using as an excuse. 1, 2, you're being lazy and you know it, and you're using this as an escape. You know that you can have courage, you can stand up to your anxieties and your phobias and your fears and your anxieties and your depressions and, oh boy, I lost my work. It's like, dude, grow up. Grow up. You don't need mommy, you don't need daddy. You have a brain. You're 40 years old, you're 30 years old, you're even if you're my age, you're 25 years old, you have a brain. You've developed this brain. You've gone through so many trials and tribulations to get to being alive right now at this very moment. If you weren't smart, you would probably be dead or incapacitated, or something would be wrong with you to a high level of degree if you didn't take good care of yourself. Or unfortunate events, it happens. It's life. It's not perfect. It's not fair. But don't be a victim. Because that's what the doctors have realized, and I believe that's why the suicide rate has increased, is that they've realized that, okay, look, I prescribed, let's say, a couple of antidepressants to, let's say, 1,000 patients. Let's say one doctor, 250 patients to 1,000 patients. And he notices that he's making good money off those kids, but they're not getting better and they're getting worse. And then he's like, let me try something else. And he actually starts talking to them about their insecurities, about their fears, about, what the doctor can actually see is happening to the child. It's not the outside world, it's the inside world. And he helps helps the child clean himself up, and then he notices that the kid stops, having whatever symptoms he's having. What the doctor now realizes is he just went into big doo-doo, ruining 250 kids, up to 1,000, putting them on a prescription, getting them addicted, ruining their lives, getting them becoming, it's not necessarily getting them to ruin their lives, but a lot of people don't know how to weave off these drugs or to use them properly, and they become dependent, and it affects their thinking patterns. It's a chemical. It's going into your brain, and it's changing you chemically. So whether you like it or not, it's like alcohol. It'll change you. You can't stop alcohol from getting you drunk, as much as you want to try and stop it. It's just, you can't. It's the same thing with weed. If you take, a bong full of, let's say, a gram of weed, you're not going to be able to be like, oh, I'm going to stop my body from getting high. You can't do that. And it's the same thing with these pills. Once the kid is on them, it's a very, very, it's hard to get off them. And a lot of kids become addicted, and their mood starts to change. If, let's say, they have it at 8 a.m. every day, but tomorrow they had it at 9 a.m., now that 1 hour is going to make a huge difference in their 24-hour period of staying dosed. At a certain level, and now their anxiety is going to go up and down. The doctor is going to think that they're being bipolar. They're going to put them on another drug and another drug, and it's just this endless cycle of trying to change you chemically. A lot of doctors right now, like you just mentioned, were committing suicide, and it's because they've realized that they've contributed to a lie. Just like how a lot of doctors right now are noticing that they're contributing to a lie. There is... Somebody gets shot in the head and they say it's a COVID death. It's like, they're really starting to see how much of this industry, and I don't want to crap on it too much because that's the industry you're going to, and it's a very respectable industry for a lot of areas, like your area for particular. Like a lot of people, if they don't get heart surgery, they'll die. If they don't get brain surgery, they'll die. There's a lot of important sectors with doctors. So I'm not crapping on a lot of doctors, but there's a lot that are committing suicide, and if you go look at what they've done, they were more than, I would say, 50% of them had something to do with anxiety and depression and prescribing medications for these symptoms to people. And you guys do your own research. That's all I'm going to say, because this is a very
what they're telling us is it's multiple faceted, but one is the burnout, one is the number of hours that one has to work, the educational load and the recertification all the time. You're always being recertified.
Yeah.
The bureaucracy, because most doctors don't have their own practice. They work for a larger organization. So I think that there's a lot of different factors that play into maybe why they are depressed and maybe suicidal and maybe even commit suicide. It's not just what they're seeing with their own patients, but I think it's some of the stresses that are within the industry, or just to be able to get the students alone. Let's just say, medical students alone have issues.
Yeah.
And it's not talked about in the mainstream news, but it's pretty high in terms of other students. And I think what it is it's like the stress to do well is extreme, because if you don't do well, you don't get in. You can't practice.
Right.
And the debt is so much for school that it's like buying a house. So so there's the huge financial burden too. So, and a lot of students that are going into it, they're not like me, where I already had a career, but a lot of them are young, so they don't have a fallback plan. So I think that's the stress of that, of all those factors, causes these students to really just freak out.
Right.
And why does it have to be that stressful? I was thinking about that just recently. Why does medical school have to be that stressful?
Because they want to weave. A lot of industries need tough-minded people, and it's people that can take a hit and keep fighting. And that's their technique of weaving people out, is who's in it for the ride, who's in it for the ride home. Who's willing to go the distance.
I'm just not sure that medical school should be 4 years. I think medical school should be maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
If you just extend it one more year, when the stress levels to
Yeah,
perform
but
go down because you don't have to absorb so much information in such little time?
yeah, but what makes the most amount of money in the shortest period of time? Stress, fear, anxiety. That's why. If you look at the statistics for this, it's absolutely insane. The people that take the most ADHD medication are college and university students, and same with antidepressants. And it's the highest suicide as well too. College and university students, and nobody hears about them because the universities pay thousands to cover it up. It's absolutely insane. There's just two things I wanted to mention. Somebody mentioned studies being corrupted. You're absolutely right. There's a lot of doctors right now that are mentioning that they really don't like the fact they've contributed to these studies, these manipulated synthetic studies, these fake studies, and you're going to see a ton of them come out in the near future, guys. But they've noticed that, look, like, not that many people are dying from this right now, or like, that's not happening, or this isn't real, and that's also another reason is this corrupted study thing. Like who justifies studies? Like, even in psychology, when we were doing studies, no test is perfect because there's always biases. You cannot stop biases from happening ever. And people are just starting to realize that there is no such thing as like a perfect science. And like I said, this will help with the whole consciousness evolution, because the more people understand this, they'll be more aligned with the fact that energy is the answer. This psychological energy. Something happened with the live.
Something happened with it live.
I think it was just my thing.
Yeah, I'm seeing it live on another computer here. Seems okay.
Okay, good to go. Somebody also mentioned ADHD and anxiety. I'm going to tell you guys something right now that'll change your life forever. If you're dealing with ADHD and anxiety, this is what I decided to do. So before I went into university and all that, I suffered from anxiety and ADHD for a number of years. And I know a lot of people are dealing with anxiety and ADHD right now, especially anxiety, which is the source of ADHD. It's causing you to overthink, accelerated thinking. I'll break down first what it is very quickly. Anxiety means that your ancestors programmed genes for you to be more aware of your surroundings and your environment, so you can increase your chance of survival. Whether you're short, or you have short genetics, or whether you have lean genetics or something. There was something in your line of family that the people kept going with it, and now it's transferred onto you. You have access to this gift. Now, I'm going to call it a gift. Here's why. The anxiety is being propaganded or paid for by these pharmaceutical industries to be represented as fear. It is fear. It's not necessarily fear, but the response of the brain to the environment is stimulation. And stimulation has three choices: attack, run away, or stay. And more than like 99% of the time, every situation doesn't require you to go all in alpha and fight it off, right? So we've become addicted into thinking that we're running away, and we're running away, and the anxiety comes and we're running away, and this loop happens that, I'm getting a fear response. What you need to first realize, it's a response. It's your body putting you in a state that's getting you energized, that's getting you thinking, not from 40 hertz per second to 1,000,000 hertz per second. And this is real. You can look all this up, guys. What's happening is you are changing states. What you do with that change of state is up to you. You can learn to harness it, control it, learn to trigger it on command, and use it in sports and debates and anything that needs hyper awareness. It's very useful, guys. It's super useful. A lot of people, Grant Cardone harnessed it. Gary Vaynerchuk. A lot of people that are very out there and quick like me. Just talk, boom, 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 boom. They've harnessed it instead of letting it victimize themselves and use it as an excuse. Now, ADHD. In regards to the medication, And in regards to the thing itself, you're not stupid. You're not autistic. There's nothing wrong with you. Everything, like I'm saying this right now, guys, everything that you've probably heard from your doctors being prescribed to you and told about you, I've heard it. My uncle's heard it. My aunt, my brother, my sister, the guy down the street, everybody's heard it. Everyone's schizophrenic, psychotic, ADHD, bipolar. It's all just noise. What you need to understand is there's genetic connections to these events that are happening inside of you, and you need to not be lazy and go and study what these reactions that are inside of you are, and to harness them and to control them, because then you can start making moves that people around you will actually think you're on drugs. Instead of thinking that you have a problem, your teachers that said you have ADHD, or when you were a kid they told your parents that you have ADHD, whatever happened, they're going to go back on their word and they're going to be like, no, that guy was actually gifted. And that's the only difference between someone that's gifted and someone that's being labeled as stupid, is one person decided to harness how their brain works, and one person decided to use it as an excuse to victimize themselves and be lazy. At the end of the day, it really comes down to you and who you want to be in this life. If you want to be lazy and depressed and live a life of back and forth ideologies and perspectives and just keep arguing with yourself, you can do that. If you want to take the red pill, realize that there is a 3D world and a 4D and a 5D, and energy and vibration is real and more real than anything ever that you've been taught in your life, then you have that choice too. And you can harness that too. It's all a personal choice, what you do with the knowledge that we present you guys with. But just to summarize that, ADHD and anxiety is a gift. It's a gift that your brain is overstimulated. It transfers information from one part to another part, to one thought to another thought, to perspectives, to creation. It is a gift. You're moving at a million hertz per second compared to a normal brain of 32 hertz per second. And like I said, you can use that computer for evil or for stupidity or for victimization and laziness, or you can use that superpower to your advantage. It all comes down to what you want to do with it. And it's not easy. I want to make this very clear. I'm not saying it's easy to harness your depression and to rebuild your personality, or to harness your anxiety and become faster at thinking, or to harness your ADHD and become smarter, whatever. It's not a process that's going to take you 2 weeks or a month or 4 months. It's going to take you a year or 2 years. But once you harness it, nothing can touch you. Nothing, because you're in full control of your biology, including your brain's biology. And every time you get a reaction, like an anxious, a stress response, your girlfriend cheats on you, whatever, something weird happens in your environment and a response comes from your head, you will recognize the response and you will harness it instead of becoming a victim to it. And that might save you from a lawsuit one day. That might save you from getting arrested or doing something stupid, So I really recommend you guys come into full peace with your disorders, because they're gifts. Here's another one that is very close to my heart. If they call you psychotic, like schizophrenic, and I got to be very careful with this, but a lot of you that are hearing voices, it's not necessarily voices you're hearing, it's your intuition. And that intuition can become three-dimensional, where you can actually start to hear things like physically that nobody else can. You feel like you're hearing it. Feeling is the key. You feel like you're hearing it because you want to hear it. You want to think that you're hearing voices, but it's your intuition, and your intuition is speaking to you. Now, what your intuition speaks to you depends on what you've programmed yourself to be. If you're an evil person, your intuition will give you good, evil, creative thoughts to harm people. If you're a good person, your intuition will give you thoughts of helping people. What that angel, quote, quote, on your shoulder is telling you is what you've programmed yourself to be. It's what you've evoluted yourself to be. And that's why I keep saying, and I know a lot of people are going to hate me for this, but this lockdown is so good because it's getting people to come into peace with this. They're like, man, I'm not going to listen to the news. I'm not going to listen to my wife. I'm not going to listen to my kids. I'm going to find out what's going on. And when they do that, they're stepping out of this three-dimensional realm, and that's the beginning steps of transformation. And that's why I'm so about this lockdown and every bad thing that's coming with it. Because, when good things happen, nobody changes. Nobody changes. Everybody's the same. And, something bad really, really does have to happen for people to wake up. And I do believe that, like you said, the recovery will be strong, and I believe it will be very, very strong, and a lot of good things, good fortunes will come out of it. A lot, because especially if the chaos level is at such a high level right now, and you're the king of this, right? Because the chaos level, right, is so high, there has to become this new developed order. And a lot of people are woken up, and a lot of people are going to be angry if things don't start turning out the way they want it to, and they'll make noise. They'll make noise until the order turns out the way they want it to. So we're in this evolution, and I say ride it, guys. Ride it all the way. Be in tune to it. Be at peace to it. Do not contribute to BS. But, stand your ground and let your noise be heard. If you don't want the vaccinations to be forced, make sure it's heard. If you want the hospitals to be more public about what's going on with the patients, make your voices heard. If you want to know what kind of symptoms people are getting, whether it had any relation to other things, make your voices heard. Like I'm saying, guys, it's all about the noise you make. This world runs on frequency, nothing else, period. It is not physical. As much as you guys want to think this world is physical, it's really not. A thunderstorm. This is the last thing I have written down, but a lot of thunderstorms have been happening, a lot of earthquakes, and a lot of weird nature response. And somebody came from my psych area, somebody was talking to me about this, like, what's your thoughts on this? Because all the videos were getting wiped off YouTube of the May 21st. It was yesterday. There was a storm that happened right after the meeting started in China for their leadership thing, and the sky went black, and I don't know, some weird, biblical event. Like, I'm not too big on these kind of, conspiracy stuff, but, that was pretty weird. And then I started to research more, and before that I was too, and then I started to kind of put the pieces together right before a phone call, and I was like, I'm going to put this right at the conclusion. I believe, and a lot of people listening to this, I believe that, and they'll agree, that nature represents humanity. If humanity spits on the floor, nature will spit on the floor too. If we want to kill ourselves, nature will kill itself. It's just the way it is. If you disrespect nature, nature will disrespect you right back. And the only reason this is real is because we were born onto this planet, and we are connected to this source, this planet, not source of energy, but this overall source. We're connected to it. So whatever we feel, whatever we transmit, whatever we broadcast into this world, into this universe, will present itself. It will produce. And if there's anxiety and fear and frustration and anger and violence, that's a vibration. That vibration will go into the wood, which will go into the ground, which will go into the earth. And then if, 100 million of us feel the same way, are on the same vibration, guys, you got to look into this to kind of see it for yourself and to understand it, but it will transcend and it will become physical, and we have no control over it. And they've known this for thousands and thousands of years, that if you believe something in your heart and a group of people believe the same thing in their heart and they're condensed, and I'm not saying your thought, I'm saying your heart. If you believe in this in your heart and there's a group of you, let's say 100,000 of you, and you guys are all in one room thinking the same thought in your heart, something weird starts to happen in the environment. You guys got to look into this to see it and believe it and understand it. And I don't want to talk about it too much because there are keywords that'll get Dr. Paul's channel in trouble. So you guys have to really, really look into this stuff yourself. But I believe that all these thunderstorms and earthquakes and floods are not because of nature trying to say something to us. It's us giving a transfer of energy to nature, and nature is responding to that energy that we just transferred to it. Because at the end of the day, we're all energy, and we're all different points of energy, and one key thing you guys need to understand is energy can't be destroyed or it can't be created. It can only be transferred. And this fear and this anxiety and frustration and violence has to be transferred somewhere. It's not going to disappear. So, the closest thing is our environment, and if all of us are feeling the same way, it's going to show itself. So More evidence, if you guys want, is to just stay tuned. There's going to be more crazy things happening in nature, and much worse. Much worse than what you guys have seen right now. This is nothing compared to what nature is going to do. And it depends on the people. It depends if people want to be in denial and promote Fauci and promote Democrats and promote just this fake science and fake news and just this fake living of Tinder and sex and drugs and, you know, no offense to Tinder. Tinder's a great app. I've used it a billion times. But, like, the point of what I'm saying is, you know, like, I've done my fair swipes, man. But, like, you know, what I'm saying is, if we decide that we are going to go against change and we're going to go down destruction, it will present itself. And I am 100%, everybody that's going to see this in the news, come back to this and take this line and put it into some, like, motivational video on saving the planet, because it's real and it's going to happen. If people continue to spit on what's actually happening right now, nature will present itself. If destruction continues, nature will present itself. It has nothing to do with money. It has nothing to do with people being sick. It's a vibration. And if our vibration continues of fear and violence and frustration and anger and arguing and not giving into this new order, and I'm not talking about a new world order when I'm saying this, guys. I'm talking about a new order, a new way of living, and it's not going to be one organization controlling this. Trust me, it's a big problem. It's a big problem where a lot of people are going to have to get involved to solve. So there's, like I said, there's going to be a lot of money, but this problem, once it gets solved, you'll see nature, or starting to get solved, periodically you'll see nature responding. Things that were happening will stop. If a forest fire happens, it might magically disappear one day. If a thunderstorm, flooding happened, it might magically disappear one day. This is how the universe works. And the closer you guys get to the reality of life, the more free you'll be of all of this drama right now. You just gotta force yourself to go after the truth. And the truth really does start with yourself. You really do have to first spiritually align yourself before diving into this rabbit hole, this deep rabbit hole that everyone's gotten into. Before you get involved, you really, guys, do have to make sure you're spiritually ready, because it is a lot. And if you're not ready, you will crash, you will fall, you will get, suicidal or whatever. So make sure you're ready. Read up on your health. Read up on your brain. Keep up to date to Dr. Paul. Dr. Paul's been on point. He's still on point. Keep up to date with just everything that's keeping you aligned with the higher power and your higher self. But more than anything, make sure you don't fall. Make sure your resilience is protected. Whatever happens in these next couple of months, if you get hit in different areas of your life, get back up. Get back up. Just keep getting back up. Somebody in your family gets sick, refer back to Dr. Paul and his videos, maybe even email him, whatever. Just, if you're really worried, just keep going in that right path of helping the people around you, making sure, you're in control of a good, positive energy. Because, like I said, the opportunities are not going to stop. They're going to keep going for the next 3 years. And you really want to be in a good state of mind, and you really want to be resilient and have a lot of humility. Because if you're not resilient and you fall, you might lose it all because of fear. You might make a bad decision, one bad decision when you could have been proactive and fixed it and, gained experience and benefits from it. You go into a fear mode and you contract and you're going to lose it all. So before you start diving into this huge transition that's happening, please make sure that you're resilient. Make sure that you've protected yourself from everything three-dimensional that's going on. Whether somebody dies around you or gets sick, or you get sick, or you get into an argument with a loved one, keep going back to your higher self. Keep going back to source and calm yourself down. Understand the red pill. Understand this is all delusion. Everything is fake. Vibration and energy are the only real things. And you really got to align yourself into that before you move forward. And I'm only speaking from personal experience, because something big happened a couple days ago. And if I let that get to me, I would have just stopped right there in my tracks. But I didn't. I capitalized. I worked it out. And now I'm making a lot more in that area than I was. And I thought it was over. So it really comes to show that resilience and humility are huge key factors in this. Because I'm like I said, I'm very strong mentally. I try to be, but everybody will fall. And if I let that get to me, I would have lost it all. So even people like me, guys, even like Dr. Paul, we're going to fall, but we got to keep getting back up, especially right now. There's going to be a lot of hits. You got to take them and keep punching back.
Well, I mean, that's what happened to me. I mean, my channel, got hit pretty hard on Wednesday, and I just have to keep on persevering. And it even affected me academically, with some of the things that I've been saying. So these people that think that I'm a shill, or that I'm just a fear monger, I'm actually sticking my neck out, and and it can affect me academically and professionally in the medical field. And people need to realize that I'm taking some risks here. That's not being a shill. That's not being a fear monger. That means that I'm actually stepping on the battlefield and trying to do something to prevent this atrocity that's happening. And I just like these trolls that are out there. I have no respect for them.
Yeah.
None.
Honestly,
None.
at the end of the day, we got a projection of where this is going before and what's happening right now, and in the future too. We'll have continued projections for all the people that were in denial, or they're arguing, or they're hating. The best part about that is that hate is so strong that it like grasps your mind. You cannot think properly if you're in hate. So I'm very thankful that people, it's going to sound so weird, Dr. Paul, but I'm thankful people are hating. Not you, but hating in general, because if people are in denial or in hatred, they can't see reality for what it really is. And people like us that are seeing where life is headed and where it's going, we know what moves to make.
No, I see your
survive.
point, but there's also some talk about, the idea of like negative forces taking energy away from, good people.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, these trolls, they take energy away from people like you and I. They're
100%.
they're like energy suckers, they just like, and that's how they get their energy, is sucking energy from other people.
They're not gonna. Your audience isn't gonna like this, but my remedy to that, you gotta cut the head right off. You gotta cut the head right off. And what I mean by that is take the hate and fight back. If you're fighting with a dagger, make that a long sword. Make that what is that? A simi? What are they called? Those long swords, or a machete? You need to up your game. You need to keep on fighting. The hate is always going to continue. What defines warriors and wolves is what they create from that hate. Hate is your name being advertised. That's all it is. Hate is and I'm going to take this from Grant Cardone. Hate is a reverse vibration of love. And after I looked into it, I was like, holy crap, this guy was right. It literally is. And you can use it to evolve forward and to grow, or you can use it to go down. Now, it is very hard to transfer the hate into wealth and into evolution, but guys, it's not impossible. Paul's doing it, I'm doing it, lots of people around the world are doing it. The hate is real, and the hate is never going to end. You're going to get hated on for the rest of your life. This is everybody, right, in general. When you get hated on, you have a choice of letting that emotionally drain you, and the emotional reaction is normal. It's normal. We're all going through it, but the time period for that emotional reaction is your choice. It's my choice. It's everybody's choice. We can be sad for 10 minutes and think about it for 10 minutes. We can set a time. Okay, I'm going to be pissed off for 30 minutes, and this is my pissed off time, and I'm going to just swear at the world and just, I'm going to be mad as hell about what just happened. But then after that 30 minutes, no more. Because if that 30 minutes continues, it turns into a mood, which then turns into a personality, and then you keep that. So this is the hard part, guys. Hate is going to come. It's going to come, and it won't stop. No matter what you guys want to do, especially if you guys have seen Dr. Paul from February, especially if you stand for something, And if you really do believe something, you're going to get attacked, and attacked hard. And you guys have gone through this with Dr. Paul since the beginning, and you guys have seen what he's put up with. And this is the real struggle of trying to get out there. But the main thing I wanted to finish with is you have a weapon, and your weapon is your voice. Like I said from the beginning, all of us have a voice, and your knowledge, the way you present that in this verbal, electric way to other people, you can defend yourself. There are laws. Like, I've seen so many people destroy police, just like on the streets. Police are trying to do something, and this guy just knows his laws and just tears a cop apart. And it's just like so beautiful to see, because he's not letting the hate, like the hate comes on and he kind of gets shook for like a minute, but then he realizes like, yo, wait a second, I have power. I have knowledge, I have strength, and then they empower themselves with the hate that the cop is giving them, and they mention their laws and all these things, but they actually know what they're talking about, so they're not just like going off like 3 or 4 laws, they're going through, 5 or 10, and the cop really like poops themselves, and they don't know what to do, and the cop feels like they're being arrested, and I see their head go down, and they go into like a beta stance, and I'm like, holy crap. Literally, in this life, if you stand up for yourself properly, and you don't hate the person back, and you defend yourself with honor and like a warrior spirit, they can attack you till your dying day. It's going to turn into like dust attacking you. It's going to be like air attacking you, because you're so strong and you have so much protection around you that it's just negligible, it's just so little. The hate, like nobody even looks at it. It's like, oh, look, it's little Johnny, saying a swear word at Paul again, it's just like, it becomes like, you know what I mean? It becomes so like unnecessary, but it comes back to how you hold yourself. You know what I mean? It comes back to how you defend yourself once you get attacked. And that's what happened in my case. I looked at a situation and I was like, I can take this as I'm a victim of this situation, or I can enforce my knowledge that I'm aware of all these solutions that I can do in this problem. And I did it, and I was just like, whoa, I'm like Big Daddy right now, like I got the power right now. Like, I didn't feel that if I let the hate get to me. So once I felt my control, that the hate was just like, oh, this is normal. It's going to happen. This little issue, it'll continue. Or this little problem here and there, it'll continue. So I just felt more empowered. I was like, look at this control I have over here, or this power I have over here. And the more you do this, and you reassure yourself, and you project it out into the world, like you can keep on hating. It's not going to affect me. I got this. I got that. And I'm not talking about stuff that you have. I'm talking about like, for instance, I'm talking to the general public. I'm talking about what you guys offer, like your solutions, your diplomatic, your lawyer type of solutions that you try to do to solve these haters. That's what's going to help you. Like I said from the beginning, your tongue is your greatest gift on this earth, because language is like it's a distraction. But if you can master that tongue, you've mastered vibration from one person to another, and you'll be able to control almost any hate that comes at you. Almost every hate. You could literally get out of a robbery literally with your tongue. It's insane what vibration, energy, and this control of your self can do. It's amazing. So guys, conclusion, don't let the hate get to you. This war, we're halfway into it. I'd say 1/3 into it. It's got a long way to go, but it'll be more clear now. As long as David Icke, London, all you guys keep going forward, the BS won't be hidden. It won't be hidden. It'll keep getting presented to the front if they try to hide more. But yeah, keep on attacking Fauci. JK, be nice to him. Send him gift cards. Keep exposing Bill Gates, because these guys have a plan. Don't expose them, but if they decide to get out of line, guys,
well, I think that, I do think that they're promoting this forced vaccine agenda and tagging agenda, tracking agenda. I'm totally.
I heard something so weird, Dr. Paul. I heard something so weird a couple months, and relapsed now recently, was that Gates is actually trying to have our back. And it's the weirdest topic, and we're going to leave this for another conversation, because I have a lot of notes on it that I want to go back onto, but I think he's a double. I think he's doubling. I think he wants a global chaos to come a new order. He doesn't necessarily want murder, I think. And this is my theory, and I'm going to go back and continue seeing what rolls out in these next couple of weeks and seeing how he handles it. But I think that there are, like we talked in our last convo, I think there's 3 main powers and then under them there's the 9, 12, and coincidentally 3, 6, 9, 12. But not so coincidentally. But we'll see. We'll see how this thing goes. But I don't think Gates' ultimate plan is global domination. I think what he's trying to do is control the domination that's coming. He like, it's going to come whether we like it or not. He just wants to be the leader of it because he feels like he's the most mature with the things that are happening and going to happen in the near future. So we'll get back on that because that's going to be a huge talk. It might break the internet, that one. Yeah, it's going to be some stuff that people are going to be like, what the hell? But yeah, I have a feeling that they used Fauci. I have a feeling they just used Fauci. Fauci was just like
well, that's
signal.
For sure. For sure,
Yeah,
Fauci's being
for a
used.
period.
For being
Yeah.
used. And I think that he has things to gain from it. But, I mean, he's definitely he's a pawn for the bigger, the bigger players.
The bigger games, yeah.
That's for sure. But he's, he's involved in this weapons program. He's involved in this whole thing.
Yeah.
But he's not the mastermind.
There's a lot of confusion about the technology and who really has the power with the tech. They're really blaming Gates. People should look a little bit more into China. A little bit more into how much influence they actually have.
Oh, I think China has huge influence.
Right?
Huge.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember, I think it was June 6th, China will be free, right? I think that was the date.
Right.
Something cool is going to happen on that date. I have a really good feeling.
We're close to that date.
It's so exciting.
It is interesting, going all the way back to when we started, talking about this. Oh my God.
Like I said, we were the ones, man. We were the ones. Everything was taken from us. Everything. And I don't want to say that at the same time because I don't want to get us killed. But like, we did say everything before everyone. And this June 6th, I'm hearing that date a lot more often right now.
6. No, it's June 4th. It's June
4th, eh?
It's June 4th because it's the 322 signature.
I've been hearing June 6th too.
No. It's June 4th. The reason why is June is 6, 4 is 4, and then 2020. But if you take June, that's 6 divided by 2 is 3. 4 divided by 2 is 2. And then if you take 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 0, that's 4. Divided by 2 is 2. So that's the 322 signature. So the 322 signature equates to 6/4/2020.
This is insane. I can't wait,
There's going to be something really big that happens on June 4th.
Did the guy tweet anything else?
I haven't been watching his Twitter. I don't know. I would love to put him on my channel. I'd love to interview him.
That would be cool.
But
he's a billionaire?
He lives in New York. But the thing is that he's really hard to understand. His accent is very thick. It would be difficult because when I listen to him on Bannon's show, it's like I have to listen to it like 3 or 4 times to understand what he's saying. He's speaking English, but it's just a very thick accent.
I want to see what this guy has to say because, dude, out of nowhere, people are bringing up the date June 4, June 6, just like some things happening in the back. It's like, what? How did this guy know this stuff was going to happen? But what really bugs me is what's going to happen with China on that date. What does he know in that regard? And for all the people that are following China, they're really pushing this whole communist movement. So if you guys are about that whole help Hong Kong freedom stuff, now is the time more than ever. Because the war with the Chinese taking over the world is slow, but it's live. It's live. So y'all, if y'all want to contribute to slowing that war down, now is a really good time.
Okay, so what we'll do is, because I got to get some rest, because I got to do a quiz tomorrow.
Right.
I got to do a quiz.
Oh, man. I'm sorry, brother.
That's all right. It's all right. I got to do a case study quiz. There's a case, but like 10 questions that are dealing with medical case studies. So I got to get that done tomorrow. But thank you for the show, and this is the first time we did it live, so that's pretty cool. And it was all the way up to like 380 people, I think, was the
That's crazy.
But that's good. But in a few hours, it's going to be thousands that's going to do it. So,
Big time.
But I appreciate
Thank
it.
you.
Yeah, no problem.
Thank you, brother. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, no problem. And we'll do it again, and then let me know when you have that information about.
There's a lot of information coming out.
So we'll do this again, and we'll do it live. I like this format more, actually.
Yeah, it's really cool. I like it. I can also engage with the comments. It's really cool.
Once I figure out how they can call in at the same time, maybe they can do a call in.
Yeah, that'd be really cool.
At the same, do like have you calling, and then you're calling in and
ask questions live,
and have someone call in and ask questions live, and do like
that'd be great.
I gotta figure out how to do that.
I'd really like that. Another adventure.
Right.
Awesome, bro.
All right.
Awesome.
So I'm gonna close it down now.
All right. Bye, guys.
I appreciate it, though. Thank you.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, man.
All right.